This offensive line is going to go in, I think, fourth straight week. Presuming all five are out there for you, but it looks like that probably would be the case. Do you see that unit? It feels like that might be checking off a little bit of a box here toward the end of the season.
Yeah, and it will be the same five. I mean, we're healthy, knock on wood. We finished the week that way. We'll have the same five guys out there. Continuity and chemistry. I've been saying that since training camp with this group. And I think, I don't think, you see it starting to gel. You see that in the running game. You see that in protection. You see the communication throughout the game and not having as many mental errors, just understanding who you're working with. And I think that's really a credit to those guys. One, we keeping guys healthy, and then, obviously Joe Philbin's done a good job as filling in.
What has he done? What has Joe Philbin done to kind of change the game a little bit there?
I think he's really dialed back, man. He talks a lot about technique and fundamentals with that group, and that's all they work on in individual, constantly on the side, just hand placement, footwork, eyes, communication. Sometimes you do, like, certain positions, you don't need to do a lot, right? And in that O-line room, that's the case. I think sometimes you put too much on these guys' plate, they're overthinking, and they're not playing as fast. So really a credit to them. The players, one, buying in, because it's hard when you make a change in the middle of the season. A coach comes in, has a whole different philosophy than maybe the prior coach, and the guys bought into it, and you're now starting to see that play off on the field.
Is there a tight end that Brock Bowers will mind you of? Maybe he's a player?
No, this guy's different. This is different because when you're getting matched up on the number one corner, when you're getting double teamed throughout the field, and they know we're going to throw the ball, and we're going to keep throwing the ball, and he's winning those matchups. It's hard. I don't know because his body type is different. I think there were some comparisons early on, like to Aaron Hernandez of that type, but I just think the way he plays the game after he has the ball. I mean, it's really like a running back. He's a receiver when the ball's in the air, and when he has the ball in his hand, I mean, he's punishing people. And he's skilled enough, obviously, with his hands and his catch radius. I can't really speak highly enough about this player. This player is doing a hell of a job this year for us, and it's no secret what we're going to do each and every play when there's an opportunity to throw it to 89.
There was a clip of him on the touchdown pass where he used his left hand to kind of disengage it a little bit, but it was really subtle, so nothing that, yeah. Like just having that, like you just said, savvy at that age.
And I said that from day one, from the first day he walked into the building, that he was a different cat, man. He's all about ball. You can just see him. Everything he's doing, he's always moving. Everything's football related, even when he's walking through the building. And that's just a small sample of what he does throughout, just his releases. His ability, we throw him a fade over there on McDuffie late in the game or third quarter, and his ability to stack him, get on top, and then make a one-hand catch and put his hand up late. Those are things that you see more veteran players do. But obviously a very skilled and tremendous athlete.
Have you seen him come out of his shell much at all? Like, as his confidence grows, as the year goes on?
Who, Brock?
Yeah.
No, he's still in the shell. No, he doesn't talk at all. No, still in the shell.
Sincere McCormick, I mean, he's been activated to the active roster, and his time on the practice squad, how would you say he's grown from there to where he is right now in the production he's put forward for the team?
What you're seeing on game days, on Sundays and Fridays from last week is what we saw every day in practice. A guy that ran hard, runs tough, good vision, decisive, hits the hole. First guy's not tackling him right now, and that's been a big key for us in the run game, not getting tackled by that first defender. So he's making the most of his opportunity. He'll keep getting opportunities. I said that last week. I think it was 12 carries he got, and hopefully we can just bump that up a little bit more this week.
Coach, the last time you coached against Baker Mayfield, it was that infamous Rams game a couple of years ago. When you look at the tape and you remember that game, what are some things that makes Baker Mayfield difficult to defend?
First of all, that game could have ended twice. We had a sack, we had an interception. But he's just a guy that's very resilient as well. I mean, here's a number one pick that's kind of bounced around a little bit and found his home in Tampa Bay. He plays the game kind of like that Brett Favre, who I played against in the league. He's very fiery. He'll do whatever it takes to make a play. The play's never dead with him. You got to keep your eyes on him and then stay in coverage. So that'll be a challenge. But, obviously he has arm talent, very talented player. And then, look, he has some really good players on his team, right? Mike Evans is there, and that's going to be a big challenge for us as well. And these two running backs, 7 and 1, are doing a really good job for him as well in pass protection and running routes.
What were your impressions of Kane Levine when he came in, and how has he progressed since he's been here?
No, good. I thought it was a good breakout game for him. We had those 2 penalties early. We kind of reset him on that one. But that game last week was very similar to what Malcolm Koonce was able to do as well last year when we had 3 sacks. So I think he had a sack and a half, but multiple hits on the quarterback, pressures. Did a good job rushing. Again, we know we're getting Max every play, right? They're sliding that way. They're chipping them. Hell, we even got triple teamed several times with Max. Somebody else has a one-on-one, and he took advantage of him. And he has first-round talent, first-round traits, and I think he really understands what his role is for us, right? He doesn't need to be that premier pass rusher like we have with Max. be that role player and really accept that role, and he's done a good job of doing that.
He had setting the edge. Seems like one of those good skills he has, setting the edge.
No, listen, he's a powerful man. That's why I said when you look at him and you just see how he's built, lower base, wide hips, big butt, hell, does a really good job of playing with long arms and playing with extension. So, I mean, there's a reason why he went first round, and you can see it.
Jackson Powers Johnson really took accountability after the game last week. He said he would kind of learn from it moving forward. What's it like seeing that kind of accountability from the rookie, and how do you think that kind of those hard lessons can help him?
Yeah. I mean, that was tough. I think for all of us, that was one of our pillars was accountability. Just seeing Aiden come up to the podium and him speak about that, and Jackson, a rookie. And like I told those guys, they don't need to be accountable. That was a team flaw. We failed as a team on that one, right? So I know he snapped the ball and all this other stuff, but it doesn't matter, right? I think when we lose as a team. When we win, but those are the traits that we saw for him coming out of college: leadership, ability to be a captain, to be a vocal person. And listen, he's playing pretty well at center for us as well. So, I mean, he's doing a good job. He's got that Raider mindset. And again, as a young player, to understand that there was a mistake made late in the game and, fingers being pointed at him, and credit to him, but it's not on him.
Is there any clarity given to you guys by the NFL about what happened on that?
Yeah, just the rule stands. It is. At the end of the day, we can't put ourselves in that position, right? We talked about that going into the game. Don't put ourselves in a position where the officials have to make a call, and we did, and it cost us.
What's the identity of a Todd Bowles team?
Tough, physical, defense. And when you look up on the other side of the ball, I mean, they're built, they're big. They're big bodies, man. Look at the nose tackle, look at their guards. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a scrappy game. They're very explosive on offense. We get that part. But down in the trenches, man, you really got to strap up.
Antonio, how much respect do you have for a guy like Levante David? Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching him play. I mean, what is it, year 13 for him? Playing at a high level, leadership, being in one organization for this amount of time, running the ship, running the show, still being productive. The energy, the passion he plays with, you can tell he's the guy that kind of gets that group going. So, like I said, it's always good when you got a linebacker on the other side you can watch opposite our guy at 41.
On offense, when you look at some of the drives that have started out in the red zone or ended in field goals, what do you think needs to improve to help finish more of those possessions with touchdowns?
Well, one, penalties. We've had several penalties when we've been down there inside the 5 and 10 yard line. Got to do a better job with that. Can't get backed up. And then making the most of our opportunities. I mean, to be honest, half the time we're down there, we're 4-down territory. We want to go for it, but if we get pushed back or have negative plays, you got to do what you got to do to put points on the board. So something that we're constantly working on. You can see the improvement on defense. We got to see that same improvement on offense.
Obviously, Daniel missed a couple kicks in the game, but still, when you guys got down there, looked like everybody had full confidence. Just get the clock stopped and go. Let him go out there. I guess. What does it say about him that he's built up that kind of trust in the team that he can miss some kicks and everybody still believes in him?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I know there was over 10 or 15 straight field goals that he had made going into that one. And listen, we got another opportunity this week. I'm gonna go out there and throw him out there again. A lot of trust. Look, we do that every Friday, and guys yell at him. We do all this stuff to make it competition and get underneath his skin, and he doesn't flinch. And listen, we can win a game kicking 5-6 field goals. We'll do that with Daniel. That's the confidence that we have in him. He's made some big kicks here as a Raider, and that'll continue. So one game is not going to define him or define us.
There was one of the big stories right now in the NFL, obviously, is a hit that happened on Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, you as a linebacker have kind of been in that situation. I guess, is that a teaching moment for you guys? And I guess just what is your thoughts on the entire situation?
Yeah, you just know the quarterback is golden, right? Can't touch him. They start sliding, just got to let them go, man. It is what it is. That's the rules. That's the way the game is now. Different than when I played. You go ahead and lay that guy out, but that's not how it is no more. You got to be smart. I mean, hell, I got fined doing that to Michael Vick, right? So, those are things now that's out of the game. And you never want to see anybody get knocked out or, look like how that play went. But, we talk about it. We teach it. We always talk about the officials on Wednesday, what they call. But more importantly, when that quarterback is sliding, it's a no-go. We can't do it.
What's the fine line if a Patrick Mahomes is running up the sideline and all of a sudden he wiggles up for another 5 to 10 yards because he's done it? So how do you teach that of how to defend that?
Yeah, it's hard because guys are running 20 miles per hour and then all of a sudden you ask them to make a last-second decision. And we talk about it. If he's a running back and he's running the ball like a running back, we're going to treat him as a running back. But if he's doing anything where he's indicating he's got to go out of bounds, man, again, it's a split-second decision. And a lot of these guys are not being intentional about what they're doing. You're playing a game at full speed and you're fighting for every yard, every inch. So sometimes you get put in a bad position. But we are teaching our guys to be as smart as possible when the quarterback's near the sideline.
What do you think of Scott Turner being able to put a game plan together for Aiden O'Connell on a short week and walkthroughs?
No, pretty impressive. I mean, that whole week was impressive by our guys, right? Coming off a tough loss, obviously, to Denver, and then So now you got, your divisional foe, you're going in there, you're playing, and you're like, okay, short week, you're on the road, you're 14-point underdogs, and then you got a quarterback that's coming off the bench. And credit to Aiden because the game last year that we had, we didn't completely pass at the first quarter. And here he was, willing and dealing all the way until the last 2 minutes of the ball game. So credit to those guys being prepared and really not flinching. Because Spags and that defense was bringing pressure the entire time. I thought he got the ball out of his hand quick. He was decisive and made some big plays for us.
There's been some wild situations, including this ending. This last week was, obviously a different one. How do you remove the doubt from the guy's mind of like something is going to go wrong? Like at some point, something is going to happen to us. How do you kind of take that away from them?
You don't. You just got to go out there and keep making plays. Keep making plays because we had no doubt that we was going to win that ball game. Had no doubt. Had no doubt till the clock hit 0. So this group believes they're in here every day working. I mean, our mindset this week is just keep grinding. Don't worry about it. Be resilient.
Last week you said he wasn't going to back down and making sure DCam got reps and made sure he continued to develop. Comparing his first start versus how he played against the Chiefs, what were some improvements and some things that you saw?
Yeah, I think just leverage eyes. There's going to be a lot of things different routes that he has not seen or he's not used to, and understanding splits, where the receivers are on the field, where they are on the numbers. I think just for him, and we'll do it again this week, just constantly focus on his eyes, understand his leverage. Where's your help, right? You're not out there on the island. It's not you out there by yourself. It's team football. You got 10 other guys that can help you, so use your help.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.